My grandmother's ruby necklace caught the light every time she wore it, casting tiny red reflections across her wrinkled hands. I was 8 years old when she first let me try it on, the weight of it foreign against my small chest. "One day, little bird, this will be yours," she whispered, adjusting the clasp. Every piece in my collection, the emerald earrings, the pearl bracelet, the diamond ring your grandfather proposed with, all of it will be yours when I'm gone. I didn't want to think about her being gone, but she insisted on making it clear, even writing it in her will with her lawyer present. I was there. I watched her sign it. My mother stood in the corner of that office, her smile tight, saying nothing. Grandma passed away 3 years ago. I was 23, just graduated from college, drowning in student debt, but finally starting my career. At the funeral, Mom pulled me aside. "About Grandma's jewelry," she said, dabbing at dry eyes with a tissue. "I think we should wait a bit before dividing things. Too emotional right now. You understand." I understood grief. I nodded. Weeks became months. Every time I asked about the jewelry, Mom had an excuse. "It's in the safety deposit box. I haven't had time to sort through everything. Let's wait until this estate is fully settled." A year passed. Then 2. Last month, I decided enough was enough. I was getting married in 6 months, and I wanted to wear Grandma's necklace on my wedding day. It was time. "Mom, I need to pick up Grandma's jewelry. I want the ruby necklace for the wedding." Her face went pale. "Actually, honey, we need to talk about that." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" "The jewelry, it's complicated. Some pieces were lost during the estate process. Others needed to be sold for taxes." "What?" My voice cracked. Grandma's estate had plenty of money. Her house alone sold for $500,000. You don't understand how estates work. There were debts, fees. "Show me the paperwork." "Excuse me?" "The tax documents. The estate settlement. Proof that you had to sell my inheritance." My hands were shaking. "Show me right now." Mom's expression shifted from guilty to defensive. "I don't appreciate your tone. I'm your mother. I handled everything legally. Then proving it should be easy." She stood up abruptly. "I think you should leave. Come back when you can speak to me with respect." I left, but I didn't let it go. That night, I called Grandma's lawyer. What he told me made my blood run cold. The jewelry was never part of any tax situation. In fact, Mom had signed for it from the safety deposit box 2.5 years ago. Every single piece. What I discovered about where that jewelry actually went would make me question everything I thought I knew about my own mother. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Grandma's disappointed face, imagined her watching my mother betray her final wishes. The next morning, I drove to the bank where Grandma's safety deposit box had been. The manager was sympathetic but firm. "I can't give you details about the contents, but I can confirm your mother accessed the box on September 15th, 3 years ago, and closed it that same day." 3 weeks after the funeral. While she was still telling me it was too emotional to deal with. I spent the next week becoming a detective. I pulled every string I had. I called my grandmother's friends, her neighbors, anyone who might know something. Finally, Mrs. Chen, Grandma's best friend from church, gave me the lead I needed. "Your mother was acting strange at that estate sale," she said carefully. "The one where she sold your grandmother's furniture and clothes." I asked about the jewelry, since I knew how much your grandmother treasured it. She got very defensive, said it was handled privately. "What estate sale?" She never told me about an estate sale. Mrs. Chen's silence spoke volumes. "Oh, well, honey, there's something else you should know." She told me about a jewelry appraiser who'd been at Grandma's house shortly after she died. A man who specialized in estate jewelry. Mrs. Chen had his business card. I called him immediately. "Yes, I remember that collection," he said when I explained who I was. "Beautiful pieces. Victorian-era ruby necklace, Art Deco emerald earrings, stunning diamond engagement ring from the 1950s. I appraised everything at approximately $47,000 total. My hands went numb. $47,000. Did my mother sell them to you? No, I just provided the appraisal. She said she needed it for insurance purposes.
He paused.
But between you and me, people usually get appraisals before selling. I gave her contacts for reputable auction houses and estate buyers. I got those names. Made more calls. Most led nowhere. Then I hit gold. And estate jewelry buyer in the city remembered the collection. Beautiful pieces. I bought them about 2.5 years ago. Paid $35,000 for the lot. A bit undervalue, but the seller seemed motivated. Do you still have them? Oh no, I sold most of them within 6 months. The ruby necklace went to a lovely young woman for her anniversary. The emerald earrings went to a collector in Boston. The engagement rings sold just last year, actually. My inheritance, Grandma's legacy, scattered to strangers. Sold like common garage sale items. Can I ask, what reason did the seller give?
His voice softened.
She said her mother had passed, and keeping the jewelry was too painful. That she had no daughters to pass it to. I remember feeling sorry for her. No daughters to pass it to. I had been erased from my own family history. But the worst part wasn't that she sold it, it was what I discovered she spent that $35,000 on. I knew I needed evidence. Real, undeniable proof before I confronted her again. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I started monitoring my mother's social media like a stalker. She wasn't careful. Why would she be? She thought I'd believed her lies. Her Facebook was a timeline of luxury I'd never seen her enjoy before. 3 years of posts showing a lifestyle that didn't match her supposed financial struggles. 2 months after Grandma died, photos from a spa resort in Arizona. Hashtag treating myself, hashtag self-care. 6 months later, a designer handbag I recognized from a magazine. $3,200, but I deserved it after this difficult year. A year after, a cruise to the Mediterranean. 17 posts about it. Last year, a fully renovated kitchen. Finally got my dream marble countertops. Every post, every purchase, every luxury vacation, timed perfectly after the jewelry sale. But the post that made me physically sick was from 3 months ago. A photo of her wearing a necklace I didn't recognize, delicate, gold, expensive looking. The caption read, "When you treat yourself to the jewelry you actually like instead of holding on to dusty old heirlooms. Live your life, not someone else's." 43 likes, including from my aunts, my cousins, people who knew about Grandma's collection. I screenshot everything, backed it up 3 times. Then I kept digging. Bank statements were impossible to get, but I remembered something. Mom had added me to her credit card account years ago for emergencies. I'd never used it, but I still had access to the online portal. The statements painted a damning picture. The exact timing of large purchases matched perfectly with when she would have received the $35,000. But here's what set me over the edge. I found a transaction to a jewelry store. Curious, I called them. "Oh yes, I remember that purchase," the saleswoman said cheerfully. "Custom piece." The customer brought in some old gemstones and had us create something modern with them. My heart stopped. "What gemstones?" "Rubies, I believe. From a vintage necklace," she said was outdated. "We reset them into a contemporary pendant. Beautiful work." She destroyed Grandma's necklace. The one Grandma wore every Sunday to church. The one in every family photo. The one she'd promised to me. Destroyed it. Reset it. Made it modern. I hung up and immediately called my fiancé. "I need your help planning something." "What kind of something?" "My mom's 60th birthday is in 2 weeks. She's planning a big party. Whole family, all her friends, the works." "Okay. I'm going to give her a gift she'll never forget." My voice was cold, calm, decided. "I'm going to give her the truth."
Publicly.
With evidence. In front of everyone who matters to her. "Are you sure about this?" I thought about Grandma's promise.
Her trust.
Her love. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. The party was perfect until I stood up to make my toast and pressed play on the presentation I'd prepared. Mom's 60th birthday party was exactly as extravagant as I expected. She'd rented out a private room at the nicest restaurant in town, invited 75 people, and wore a dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. She hugged me when I arrived, all smiles. "I'm so glad you came, sweetheart. I was worried after our disagreement." "Wouldn't miss it, Mom." I held up a wrapped box. "Even brought you a special gift." Her eyes lit up with greed disguised as maternal warmth. "You shouldn't have." "Oh, but I should have." I'd spent 2 weeks preparing. My fiancé helped me create a presentation, a simple slideshow set to music. I told the restaurant manager I wanted to display family photos during the party. He'd been happy to set up the projector and screen. Everyone who mattered was there. Dad, looking tired in the corner. My aunts and uncles. Cousins. Mom's church friends. Her book club. Co-workers. Even Mrs. Chun, Grandma's best friend, who I'd secretly invited.
Dinner was served. Cake was cut.
Then came the toasts. Dad went first, saying something diplomatic about partnership and love. My uncle made a joke about Mom getting old. Everyone laughed. Then I stood up. "I'd also like to say something," I announced, glass raised. "Mom, I made you a special video tribute. A walk down memory lane." Mom beamed, clearly expecting a sentimental montage. I nodded to the restaurant manager. The lights dimmed. The screen flickered to life. The first slide was a photo of Grandma wearing her ruby necklace, smiling at the camera. The caption read, "Margaret Sullivan, 1942 to 2021. A woman who valued family, trust, and keeping promises." Mom's smile faltered slightly. The next slide showed a document, Grandma's will, highlighting the section about the jewelry inheritance. I read it aloud. "My entire jewelry collection shall pass to my granddaughter, as we discussed, and as she knows was always my intention." The room went quiet. 3 years ago, my grandmother passed away. I continued, my voice steady. She left me her jewelry collection, pieces she'd promised me since I was 8 years old. Pieces worth approximately $47,000. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Mom's face went white. I was told the jewelry had to be sold for taxes. For estate fees. I was told it was complicated. I clicked to the next slide, the bank record showing Mom's safety deposit box access. But that was a lie.
Click.
The appraiser's documentation.
Click.
The receipt from the estate jewelry buyer.
Click.
Screenshots of Mom's Facebook posts, the spa, the cruise, the handbag, the kitchen renovation. Each image appeared on screen for everyone to see, timed perfectly with soft, sad music that made the betrayal even more visceral. Mom stood up, knocking over her wine glass. "Turn this off. Turn it off right now." But I wasn't done, because the next slide would reveal something even she didn't expect me to know. The screen changed to show a photo of the custom pendant, the one made from Grandma's destroyed necklace. The one Mom wore in her Facebook post. "This," I said, voice breaking slightly, "is what's left of my grandmother's ruby necklace. The one she wore every Sunday. The one in every family photo. My mother had it destroyed and reset into something modern because it was dusty and outdated." Someone in the crowd gasped. I saw Mrs. Chen's hand fly to her mouth. Mom's face cycled through emotions, shock, rage, panic. "You have no right to do this." "I have every right." My voice rose. "You stole from me. You erased Grandma's legacy. You spent my inheritance on vacations and renovations while I drowned in student loans. I'm your mother. I raised you. I sacrificed." "You sacrificed nothing." I slammed my hand on the table. "You want to talk about sacrifice? Let's talk numbers." The next slide showed a spreadsheet I'd meticulously created. Every luxury purchase. Every vacation. Every designer item. Dated and documented. $3,200 handbag. $8,000 cruise. $15,000 kitchen renovation. $2,800 for custom jewelry made from the rubies you destroyed. My finger pointed at each item as it appeared. "You spent my inheritance on yourself while telling me there was nothing left." Dad stood up slowly, his face gray. "Sarah, is this true?" Mom whirled on him. Don't you dare take her side. This is a family matter. I'm not family, I shouted. Because you told the jewelry buyer you had no daughters to pass it to. You erased me. Told a stranger I didn't exist so you could sell my inheritance guilt-free. The room erupted. My aunts started talking over each other. Someone was crying. Mrs. Chin stood up, her elderly frame shaking with anger. Margaret told me, she said loudly, silencing the room. 2 weeks before she passed. She told me she was worried about Sarah. Worried she wouldn't honor the jewelry promise. She knew. Mom's face crumbled. That's not. She asked me to be a witness. Mrs. Chun continued. To make sure her granddaughter got what was promised. And I failed. I should have done more. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I nodded at her, tears streaming down my face now. The final slide appeared. A legal document. This is a lawsuit for conversion and theft, I said quietly. I'm suing you for the full appraised value of the jewelry, $47,000, plus emotional damages. My lawyer says we have an excellent case. The silence was deafening. Mom's mouth opened and closed like a fish. You can't. I'm your mother. And I was your daughter. The one Grandma trusted you to honor. But you chose money over me. I picked up my purse, ready to leave. Then Dad spoke, his voice cold and final. Sarah, pack your things. I want you out of the house by tomorrow. But what happened in the parking lot after I left would change everything one final time. I made it to my car before the shaking started. Adrenaline crash. I sat in the driver's seat, hands trembling on the steering wheel, trying to process what I'd just done. Exposed her. Humiliated her. Destroyed her perfect birthday in front of everyone she knew. And I didn't regret it for a second. My phone buzzed. Text from Dad. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I should have protected you. Then my aunt. We all owe you an apology. We should have questioned her. Then my cousin. That took guts. Grandma would be proud. I was scrolling through messages when I heard the click of heels on pavement.
Mom.
She approached slowly. Mascara streaked down her face, her expensive dress rumpled. For a moment, she just stood there by my car window. I rolled it down halfway. What could you possibly have to say to me right now? Her voice came out broken, small. I didn't think you had it in you. To stand up to you? To tell the truth? To destroy me? I laughed bitterly. You destroyed yourself. I just showed everyone what you'd already done. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, I was jealous. What? Of you and Mom. The way she looked at you. Like you were this precious thing. She never looked at me like that. Tears fell faster now. I was her daughter for 40 years, but you were her granddaughter for 23, and somehow you got all her love. For a split second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. So you stole from me? Destroyed her jewelry? Spent my inheritance out of jealousy. I convinced myself I deserved it. That I'd earned it for putting up with her all those years. That you were too young to appreciate it anyway. She wiped her nose. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. You're only sorry because you got caught. She didn't deny it. The lawsuit is still happening, I said flatly. And I'm never wearing anything you touched to my wedding. I'll walk down the aisle with nothing rather than let you taint that day too. I know. She stepped back from the car. For what it's worth, your grandmother was right about you. You're stronger than I ever was. I started the engine. Goodbye, Mom. She didn't try to stop me as I drove away. 6 months later, I settled the lawsuit out of court. Mom paid me $40,000, less than the full amount, but enough. Dad divorced her 3 months after the party. She moved to a smaller apartment, got a job, and started therapy at the court's recommendation. We don't speak. On my wedding day, I wore a simple gold chain that my fiancé bought me. It meant more than any jewel ever could, because it was given with love, not obligation. And every year on Grandma's birthday, I donate to a scholarship fund in her name. Her legacy lives on, just not the way my mother tried to steal it. The end. If you've ever had a family member betray your trust or steal from you, drop a comment below. You're not alone. This story shows that sometimes the people closest to us can hurt us the most, but standing up for yourself is never wrong. If you enjoyed this story of betrayal and justice, smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking revenge tales every week. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when karma strikes back. Share this video with anyone who's ever been gaslit by someone they loved, because the truth always comes out eventually. What would you have done in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, trust is earned, not given.
See you in the next story.